I thought that the Phoenix Suns had a decent to okay game plan against the Grizzlies starters, not the least of which was the first team that we have seen in a long time. It's happened very, very rarely over the course of the season where, and I always talk about this, where somebody has decided we're just going to take out Jaren. We're going to decide, even if he gets a touch 20 feet from the basket, we're going to run a second guy at him. He's going to look up and he's going to see a second guy, sometimes a third guy, no matter what. And we're just going to take him out because he's the guy that is killing teams. He's the guy that's scoring 30 on a regular basis. And I always say that when you are playing against a team, there's very few teams that you play throughout the year that have a specific and very good game plan against you as an opponent. That is the big difference between playing during the regular season and playing during the playoffs. Chris Finch comes to mind. Minnesota always does a good job on Ja. New York comes to mind. They always do a very good job. Yes, Ty Lue, who the Grizzlies will face tonight. They always have a specific game plan for those guys. But what we know is that over the course of the past 5 years, you walk into a opposing locker room, and number one on the whiteboard is Ja Morant. What are we doing with Morant tonight? Last night felt like number one on Phoenix's board was Jaren. Yeah. And that is what I said was an incredibly promising thing that took place, because the best thing that can happen for this team is for more teams to have to spend that level of focus on Jaren, because the truth is, if you single up on Ja Morant, he is going to destroy you. Most teams make him see 2 and 3, and they box and elbow it, and they just say, if you're going to shoot us out of this, then shoot us out of this. Mm-hmm. Last night, you saw a scenario where now Jaren Jackson is commanding the majority of the attention. And so they tried to make life hell on him, which they did. They did a very good job. Yeah. He missed threes that he would normally step into and make.
0 for 5 from 3. He don't usually shoot 0 for 5 from 3.
He does not usually shoot 0 for 5 from 3. But the space that allowed Morant to operate with, and, didn't get a couple calls early. That has got to be. When is the last time Morant went to the free throw line double digits in a game? Seriously. I wondered. Now, look, I don't know anything. I really wondered this because I've seen this happen in the past. I wonder if they sent a video. This happens during the course of the regular season. This has not made any kind of news, but it would not shock me in the least if they sent a video to the league and said, something is awry here. This guy, we're losing control of our best player to the point where he doesn't even, stay engaged in the way, because he does not get any of these. Here's all the bumps you give the other team, and here's all the bumps you never give this guy. Because last night, I thought he got beyond a favorable whistle. Like beyond. They even gave him the goaltend on Bol where that was crazy.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close to a goaltend. I was like,
maybe at halftime they may have went in the locker. The refs may have gone in the locker room and watched some stuff. Because even in the first half, I was like, yo. But like it looks like at halftime, he shot 4 free throws in the first half. He shot 12 total, so that's 8 in the second half.
How many times has he shot 12 this year?
The last time he got above 10 was in Minnesota, January 20th. And before that, Houston on the 9th. But other than those 2 games, he hadn't shot 10 free throws in the game since the Portland game, November 25th.
It's really odd for a guy that is not a shooter.
And he's a straight
he's
attacker, attacker driver.
Yes.
That's why I was so bothered.
And he's driving into contact. And I just told you that, I watched these last 2 Golden State games. Jimmy Butler's gone to the line 28 times.
Anthony Edwards shot 16, 17 free throws in the last couple of games.
Right. Ja has not gotten that kind of whistle, and it has had a profound effect on him. But last night, you got a full Morant experience, had some spectacular plays, and also had a little more space to operate, and also, most importantly, got to the line. That's how he's going to be able to make hay, is by getting to the line. It also gives you the opportunity to set up your defense. Defense was really active. As I said, I thought they had a relatively decent game plan against the starting level players and then had nothing for the bench. They were, I swear, in that first half when we put our bench in, every shot they took was wide open. I was like, this is bizarre. Like, they didn't even know who was guarding Santi Aldama. They didn't know.
Was facing the other direction, and Tyus was looking like, yo, what are you doing?
It was
and
weird.
Santi was just like, oop.
And then they would get mismatched all the time.
Yeah.
There was that one possession where Grayson Allen's guarding Jaren. I'm like, this cannot be like what they're intending on doing. They're just a mess.
They're just out there, bro.
It was really weird. And then the Grizzlies stopped defending. Then they started screwing around and made that game unnecessarily stressful. When it got to 4, I was like, you cannot be serious. I cannot believe I'm going to stay up until midnight and you're going to blow this against this rat team. Because that team is not, good grief.
Outside of Kevin Durant, like, doing this thing, bro, that team is not very,
No.
Ain't nothing about it. Bo did his thing, cool, that's all right. But outside of KD, disgusting basketball.
Yes.
Unethical basketball.
Unethical.
Bro.
And watching them play, it makes you wonder, like, man, they are really in peril, especially when they say their locker room's a mess. They're really in peril of not being able to make the play-in.
Yeah.
Seriously. They may, and even then, you would then be counting on them to win too. Because even if they make it, it is hard to see them getting anywhere above 9. Yeah. And then you're in a position where you got to win 2. And that team is not good enough to win 2 games against a good team.
No.